Hey, dreamer, hey. Let me say this clearly. If you've been applying to jobs and hearing nothing back, it's not just you. The job market in 2026 has shifted. And if you're still using old strategies, you're going to feel stuck no matter how qualified you are. It's just a fact. Now, I want you to hear this from someone who is in this work every single day. In fact, I look back and since 2020, I have personally worked with over 10,000 people, sometimes in small groups, sometimes in larger groups, and sometimes one-on-one. And I'm working with professionals who are landing six-figure roles in this market. That's between 2025 and now. So this is not about talent. This is about strategy. And forgive me, I'm going to get my YouTube muscles going and all that stuff, but I had to get this video out. And so stick with me, okay? Let me tell you what changed. Here's what's different right now. First, there is more competition. We already know that. Maybe before there was 25 or 100 or even a few hundred. Now there's 1,000 or even tens of thousands for big name companies for jobs. And no one can go through all and sift through all of those people. And it feels bad from that standpoint. But you're just competing with so many people. And yes, it's true. But I'll share this with you. I have a client who at the beginning of this year was one of over 6,000 applicants for a company that usually gets a couple hundred, maybe 500. And they were selected using some of what I'm going to share with you today. Second, I want to tell you there is hire slow and fire slow. What does that mean? That literally means that organizations who would maybe push people out or terminate people sooner now are waiting and they're holding on to talent because they don't know if they'll be able to find someone and they don't know if they'll be allowed to replace them. And then in the hiring that hiring managers are telling me now, they are afraid to pull the trigger and actually hire. They don't know what they're getting. So I want to share with you some things that are going to help you overcome that. And so companies are posting roles, but they are taking so much longer to make decisions because they are shy. And it's hiring slow and firing slow at the same time. And then thirdly, visibility matters more than ever. And I don't mean just being visible, posted on LinkedIn, on Instagram and TikTok. I'm not talking about that. Not even if you have your own newsletter or even you have a YouTube channel. If your entire structure submitting applications online, I'm just going to tell you flat out, you're invisible. You're invisible. And this is why you're stuck. So what am I seeing? This is right. Strong professionals like you, experienced professionals like you, knowledgeable, been doing the job for years. And if you're like me, longer than you like to admit publicly. And you're doing all the right things from a few years ago, but not for right now. Maybe you've been updating your resume. Maybe you've even made some investments in resumes and you're applying online and you're waiting to hear back and doing more applying and more applying and more applying and yet even still more applying. I know people who before working with me and our team were applying to 10, 20, 30 jobs a day. Maybe you're even using one of those cool apps that's going out and applying to 100 jobs a day for you, but you're hearing crickets and it's not working. But it's not because you're not qualified. Let me just say that, because on paper and in reality you are, but it's hard to find you because the hiring officials are sifting through so much information and they're overloaded and overworked as well and afraid to make a bad hire, especially right now. But because the strategy they are using, if you're just applying, hoping, wishing, and praying is not a real strategy, right? That no longer matches this marketplace and what you need to be successful. So let me reframe it for you this way. You are not behind. You might feel behind and you might feel like, man, Lisa, I should have had way more interviews. I should have had some offers even. I should have had some callbacks. I should have people reaching out to me. But this actually is a two-way street. So I'm going to share with you what to do instead. What works now is different. What you need clear positioning. That means an intentional path forward, a specific job, and a specific industry, right? And you need to be working your way towards where you're going and growing in your career on an intentional basis, not happenstance, not applying to every single job, not even when you're talking to people. And I hear people say this to me and it really hurts. They say, I just want a job, any job. But the last time I checked, I'm afraid to say this, there isn't a job called any job. You need, in addition to that, real visibility. I would guarantee you have 5 people right now that you could reach out to and become visible. Right now, 5 people. In addition to that, clear positioning, what your target is, what the industry is, real visibility, right? You need a week-to-week, day-to-day, month-to-month, quarter-to-quarter system that creates momentum to move forward and conversations about what it is that you want and need, not just applying. And I started saying this, I don't know, probably 20 years ago, that hoping, wishing, praying that someone is going to reach out to you is not a strategy. Listen up. That's called wishful thinking. So that means being intentional about who you reach out to, how you show up, and what you do every single day, and managing your time appropriately. So this is what I want to tell you. I talk about this every single week in something called Career Forward Circle. That's right. It's the Career Forward Circle. And I created it really because I was in your place. I was laid off twice in less than 2 years. And that second time, after moving to a new state, moving across the country with my family, getting laid off the second time in less than 2 years, I was able to land a job in 4 weeks. And that changed everything for me and for those people I didn't even know I did it for, like you. Because most people don't need more information. You need insight. You need strategy, right? You need structure. You need community and accountability. And you need a system that actually works that will lead to getting you more interviews. Because it's real simple. It's in the math. More interviews equals the possibility of more offers. More offers equals the possibility of your job and getting hired. So if this hits home for you, don't just watch this and go back to doing the same thing. I want you to join me inside the Career Forward Circle and then meet me live every Monday for the Momentum Lab, where I will walk you through exactly what to do next. Not just that, but I will answer your big and small questions inside the Career Forward Circle. So do me a favor. Make sure, if this meant anything to you, do me a favor and subscribe, and then turn on that little bell so you can know about more videos. I'm going to be sharing more videos like this every single Friday. So this is the first of many. I'm delighted that you found me. I look forward to seeing you inside of the Career Forward Circle. Get the details below. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next Friday. Take care. Bye for now.